Tiger and Yasir are sitting there, I think like you said, the no-go for the PGA Tour is going to be that we need to have some players to be respectable and be on the same level as LIV, and I think they still need to have their history because that means a lot to them. On the PIF side, it's going to be we're going to be mentioned in the same breath as the PGA Tour as the top league in the world, and we're going to continue to keep team golf as one of the primary aspects to it. And that's the whole deal. I mean, we just got the deal done right here on our show.
I still have a hard time believing that it's actually going to come together. Like it's going to come together. I think it's going to be. You can't get these guys. You're going to be able to play in the Players, the Masters, all the majors, and then go say like I don't know. I would like you could play in Waste Management. You could play in the Players. What are some of the other bigger tournaments at the end of the? You can play at the Memorial at Jack's Place. You can play in the elevated events. So you have the best fields. But I can see that being it. Like somehow making that work somehow. But I don't see them everything coming back together and being one tour again. I just don't.
What are the things that would cause you to walk away from the table? And I think that's really the conversation because we all know that Tiger is the table for the PGA Tour and Yasir is the table for the PIF. There is no Jay Monahan doesn't matter. Greg Norman doesn't matter. Rory McIlroy doesn't matter. The Asian Tour doesn't matter. Jon Rahm doesn't even matter in these conversations. Right. The only two people that matter are Yasir and Tiger, and that's always been the case.
I think Tiger in some high position
done
is going to be a necessity for PGA
for sure.
To keep that face. I don't think Rory wants anything to do with it anymore. And I think because Tiger barely plays anymore, we want Tiger and some sort of Greg Norman role in the PGA Tour. Flagship events that have been tradition for the PGA.
For sure.
I mean,
we're not going to ask for you to remove any of that. I mean, that's what makes you you. I think where LIV is coming from is saying, hey, we need to rework the idea of the rankings for the world. You've got nothing. The only thing you hang on to is these world golf rankings, which your players have just been saying, hey, it doesn't really make sense. This really isn't a representation of the best players in golf.
This is what I said for the PGA Tour. That Tiger came out and said listen, these guys are untouchable. Gave him five, 6 names. You can't try to poach. Anybody else, you can take wherever you want. And you know what? You guys want to play in the Players, Pebble, Waste Management, some of the other flagship events, you can. We'll still, we'll stay separate. We'll be separate leagues still.
So still keeping it separate.
Keeping it separate.
Gotcha.
Like you can't have Scotty, you can't have Rory, you can't have these guys. Anyone else? Free game. You want to offer them $1 billion to come play? We don't give a shit. Do it.
My friend, this is what we'll do. We will have the PGA offers contracts for all of their players, right? If you're under contract under the PGA, you can't be poached because you're under contract, my friend. So you have all the players in LIV, right? They're under contract. They can't play for anybody else other than LIV unless they're at an event that everybody plays.
Are they rushing? Right? That may be an argument in negotiations. Like, okay, they're going to play in 5 of our flagship events plus majors. What about the guys who didn't take the money that want to play in an event? You could be like, oh, well, you should have took the money and you could play in the event. But it's the same thing. Those guys took the money knowing they were doing what they were doing, and they can go back. Does it play both ways?
I think that is a great argument for some reciprocity across both sides, saying, hey, we have some wild card spots open in X, Y, and Z events. If anybody that isn't doing anything that weekend wants to fly to wherever Stan and play there, that's fine.
And that's how you keep fans crossed over, Watching a Shoffley fan could watch a LIV event and maybe be hooked on it.
I just think, in my opinion, the meeting was Yasir put his foot down and said, this is what the fuck we're doing. If you don't want to give us this, we don't fucking need you. I don't care.